Not the kind of diagnosis I usually do. Dr. I inadvertently diagnosed a serious medical issue and might have saved a remote user's life. First off, I know this is a bit out there, but other than possible misrememberings, not a word of this is a lie. Did not want to post anything until I was sure the user was all right, and this had a happy ending. I was working the help desk early one afternoon a few months ago, and the phone rang. It was someone I would helped before, a salesman at a remote location. He was in the office and having trouble logging into his laptop. I will never understand how users can use the same password for months, and then one day just forget it, but that's what the user reported, and it was not a super uncommon issue. I reset his password in Add, then forced a sync to Azure Add. We are a hybrid environment, and provided him the new password. I am of the belief that hanging up on a user before confirming they are up and running is right up there with closing up a computer before confirming it boots. You are jinxing it. So I am sitting there for a couple minutes and ask, how are things going? It is still saying I cannot log in. All right, can you click in the bottom left where it says other user and type your email address in manually? After a while it is still not working. Weird. I confirm in our management software that his laptop is online and reachable, and just to make sure I used his new password to log into Office. In a private window, so I very carefully spell out the password and have him read it back to me. A few more minutes pass. He still cannot log in. I text him the password somewhat against policy, and still not working, so I use a little undocumented trick where I make like I am going to remote into his machine, but send it a reboot command a few seconds later. Ordinarily, I need user approval to connect, but if the software was still trying to connect after the reboot, it would connect at the login screen. Logged in with my admin account, so it was connected to Azure Add just fine, so I logged out and told the user to try to log in again. What I saw was really concerning. He was not even typing in the password field, he was in the username field, and had managed to badly mangle his own email address. Not just misspellings, but there were 5+ signs in a row, and over time the user was backspacing and correcting over and over again. So for the first time ever I asked, "Sir, are you feeling all right?" without any snark whatsoever. I am pretty sure the slight slur was there before, but I had not really been listening for it, but it was there when he said, "Oh yeah. I went to the doctor yesterday and they said he had a fever, but I am okay now." Fever did not explain everything I was seeing, so I asked, "Do you know you have been trying to type in your email address for 10 minutes? Wow, really?" He sounded almost impressed. He then started talking in a way that sounded almost coherent, but with a lot of misplaced words. Okay, he was either extremely drunk, or this was a serious medical issue, and being that he was driven into the office and no one else noticed, I did not think he was drunk. Plus, even while he was talking, he was very slowly and deliberately still trying to type and making more mistakes. "Can you keep trying to log in? I am going to see if I can find someone to help you." I pulled up Teams and checked his location to see if anyone was online. Thankfully, the branch manager was online. I called up her cell. "Hey, this is at you with it, and this might be a bit of an emergency. Are you or anyone on site today?" "I am, and potentially sick user is too." "What's wrong?" "Maybe nothing, but can you go check on user real quick? I think he may be having a serious problem." She puts down the phone and after a while comes back and says, "Oh my goodness, I am so glad you called. We had to take user to the hospital. He barely recognized me. He said he had a fever, plus slurred speech and some language involvement. Can you call whoever's taking him, and let them know he might be having a stroke?" I was not sure user could tell people what he would told me. Okay, I will do that, thanks again. Did not hear anything back on that for a long while except from HR telling me I did good making sure he was okay. A few weeks after that call we got a ticket to disable his account as he was on medical leave, but then a week after that we got a ticket to re-enable him. I was actually lucky enough to be the one who got the call when the user needed his password reset. Neither he nor I remembered what it would set it to a couple months back. Turns out yes, he had a stroke. He had no memory of that entire morning until he was in the hospital later that day. Prognosis was good. Fever after a stroke generally means it was pretty severe, so I would have been worried, and they were going to treat it with diet and blood pressure meds. As of now, the user is back at work, and still has a few issues with typing. One of the scarier aspects of strokes, I learned after this, is the issues you have during it can potentially be the parts of your brain that are dying.